All right, what's up, gamers? Aaron Shack here, and we're going to check out the FBC Firebreak announcement trailer, and several of their gameplay videos. Looks really dope. We saw this several months ago. I believe it was the Game Awards. I thought we'd react a little bit. Don't forget to like and share the stream out. Let's jump in. Let's get those initial impressions here. So this is the announcement trailer.
This place was always dangerous and weird. Policy and procedure used to keep us in control.
And so this takes place in the world of control.
We need a new approach.
And honestly, at first, I was put off by Control has a certain art style, and I thought some of these colors here are sort of like very bright, and you know, it's almost the marathon problem where everything is very bright and very colorful. If we take a look here,
this place was always dangerous.
It's just the opposite of Control. That's what I thought at first.
Policy and procedure used to keep us in
We'll
control.
see.
But
I'm coming around. It's a 3-player co-op game. It's not a looter shooter. It's not an extraction shooter. It's probably more in line with something like Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood, where it's, you know, you pick your character, your loadout, and then you go into an area for however many rounds you select. So I was kind of put off by this art style and just the, I call it the Ubisoft thing, where everything's got to be like spray painted or like gas masks and hyper bright colors, and you know, everyone looks like graffiti taggers and motocross outfits, you know. But I'm coming around, okay? That was my initial reaction. It was a little bit, you know, spicy. But I think the more I see, the more I'm like, okay, I see where they're going with this. And so first person, you got guns, you know, you've got grenades, but you've also got these gadgets, like, you know, sort of a slime gun. You got the wrench for like repairing stuff. You've got this, you know, electrical. It's sort of like, yeah, you see the melee combat. If it will let me pause on that frame, it's being really crazy. But this gun right here is like some sort of electrical weapon combined with like a pogo stick, because you can also shoot it at the ground and like bounce. So that's really cool. Like so. You can go flying. And then this is your method of healing, is this like, you know, you get in the showers, and if the water is cold, it slows you down, but if you trigger some things in the area that makes the water hot, it heals you more effectively. And then of course hot water doesn't weigh you down in the same way that cold water does. And so there's various gadgets, you know, different types of modifiers that we can put on guns. You got the gnome launcher, which will attract enemies and then blow up. So I mean, that was our initial thing.
Firebreak.
And we saw that at the Game Awards, and they were like, hey, it's coming next year, you know, hit the wish list. And, you know, before we get further into it, it is going to be crossplay. So you can play on whatever console. It's a next-gen game. Now, we have some footage here that I want to look at from the Future Game Show. Right here. And we only have a few trailers to look at. Yeah. And these are all the enemy types that we've seen in Control back in 2019. And so as you can see, like, you know, getting the lights on, stuff like that, like there are objectives that are, you know, you're gonna have to turn the power back on, you're gonna have to like turn off the heaters to keep it from burning you up. There's a level where there's sticky notes everywhere and it becomes an obstacle that slows you down and eventually like takes you over if you get too many sticky notes on you, which is, you know, some deep Control lore from 2019. I think there was another level based around like water type stuff.
We've had reports of rogue sticky notes replicating across this
this is Paper Chase, one of the missions.
If you don't cut back their numbers, this whole place...
Yeah, and you see, like, that, you know, everyone kind of has their own gadget. Like, they have, like, a shotgun or a rifle or a pistol or, like, you know, sort of a rapid-fire weapon as well, like an SMG. And then you see right here, you have the crank, like, water cannon. And that's a way to get rid of the sticky notes really easily. You can hit them, or you can like let them collect on you and then hit the showers. So there's a lot of different strategies that you can use. But like it's kind of cool. It reminds me of Team Fortress in a way, where like everybody kind of has their own wacky gadget that they can use. And of course, everything, much like everything that is in the Federal Bureau of Control, where... everything's like very analog and old school. You're not seeing like very new age weapons or gadgets or something. Everything has to sort of exist in this older timey period of like, you know, the 40s through the 60s, you know, so some sort of like postmodern ideal here. Where the computers are old, there's typewriters, there's sticky notes, you know. You're not going to see very advanced weaponry here. Everything's very practical. Yeah, you see the sticky notes gathering and blocking out your screen.
To the next zone.
And then, of course, just like a Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood kind of game, you're going to have these areas where you can like enter a safe house, restock, and then at certain points, if you essentially you can choose like, do you want to do the full mission or do you just want to do like one area? Like, do you only have 30 minutes to play and you just want to pop in and do one area? You can select it that way, or you could say, yeah, I'm here to play like a whole mission. You know, we want to, you know, hit each area one to the next with these little breaks in between. So that's pretty cool. And then you also have difficulty settings as well. So it's pretty cool that they're allowing you to tailor, like, how much time do you have to play? You know?
Safe room dead ahead. Might contain something useful, but it'll probably attract a lot of... Oh, you already opened it.
You already opened
it. You sure kicked the nest. There's hiss all over you.
And this is really cool because essentially it's just fleshing out more of what already exists in the world of Control. And you're really just like regular employees. You know, you're not super powered like Jesse Faden. You know, you're not some special main character. You know, you're just average employees that see a disaster in their workplace, and you're obviously trapped in here, and you're trying to make the best of it and trying to contain it, which is, you know, pretty cool.
Piggy's coming out.
And so it looks like every teammate's going to have their role, and of course, you know, sticking together is going to be key. Yeah, this does connect to Control directly. Yeah, it's called Federal Bureau of Control Firebreak, or FBC Firebreak. Oh yeah, and you got to put out the fires too.
I think I heard something.
Oh my god. And it looks like there's going to be boss fights, you know, according to
crew, time to
Ricky
clean
there.
house.
And it is coming this summer. I believe I logged the date. June 17th, 2025. So yeah, it's not far off. It's not far off at all. Let me pull up the next video that we're gonna react to. I got about 2 more here. This one's kind of short. This is Hazards of the Job.
Jerry, I'm working on a recruitment poster, and I need a slogan.
What about?
Oh yeah, and that's like, so each mission here,
Working on a
you know, we saw a mission with sticky notes. We're going to see a mission here. Let me pull it up here. We're going to see a mission here with, like, you know, sort of a fire problem, and then we're going to see a mission here. Yeah, right here where there's like a pink goo problem. So let me start the trailer from the beginning here.
Jerry, I'm working on a recruitment poster, and I need a slogan.
What about Firebreak? Help us, help you.
So yeah, jumpstart the generator to keep the lights on, keep the flames from taking over the area, and then of course you see in that very back room there's these fans that are essentially spreading the fire, and you have to find a way to, like, shut those off and cool the place down.
Let's go with You Need Us.
This place is hotter than hell. Get out there and get that heat under control.
Yeah, there you go. There's the generators. And of course you're, like, burning up. Yeah, you can shoot the sprinklers too, which that's gonna come in handy, like, as a way for, like, health regeneration as well as putting out the fires, because like I said earlier, you have to kind of, like, hit the showers to get rid of the sticky notes. It kind of becomes like a way to heal and stuff like that. Yeah, it does look for, now it's not live service. They did say that they have, like, a roadmap, and they want to add, like, you know, new missions and game modes, and, you know, potentially, like, characters and new weapons and stuff like that. But they said every content addition that they're adding to this game is free. So all you gotta do is buy the game, and I believe it's coming in at $40 for, like, the regular edition, so that's not bad at all. But I will say, you know, you guys have wanted a game like Left 4 Dead, and you guys didn't latch on to Back 4 Blood, and I'm kind of a full-on hater. I'm holding you guys accountable for that one. That was a spiritual sequel by the original devs, and you guys didn't flock to it. And now we got another game, you know, and you guys pretend to hate live service games, right? And you're mad every time you see those cursed words, or, you know, extraction shooters. You know, we get that sour taste in our mouth when we hear that. Battle Royale, we get that bad taste in our mouth sometimes. This is a dev actually giving you, you know, much like Helldivers, they're like, hey, we're going to give you this at a value. Like, we're not going to sell it to you at 60 or 70 or 80 or 90 or whatever dollars. You know, we're going to give you some value in this game, and we're delivering free expansions after that. And you're still going to turn us down? I don't know. I was a little, you know, iffy about it at first, but I think the more that I've seen, and the fact that they've shown us a lot of gameplay here, as we're going to look at today, I think I'm more and more excited about it, and I think I'm sold. So let's dive in more as we see here.
It gets hairy out there. Watch your back.
Yeah, you're seeing all the different enemy types from the game. And yeah, we even, you know, they just gave us, like, the shortest flash right here of, like, the blizzard. So, like, there's obviously going to be a lot of different levels with a lot of different environmental factors, different bosses, you know, different enemy types, different strategies where you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to want to bring this loadout. And if you guys want, we could definitely take a look at the full developer live stream that they did, and we could react to that too. I was trying to keep this kind of brief, but if you guys want to get, like, fully sold on this, we can definitely take the time to do so. So once again, we're seeing, like, this thing, which is like the pink goo, and obviously you're going to need the player, and of course the character designs are peak. But yeah, you're going to need the water gun here to sort of, you know, clean up this goo. But as you see right here, you can get trapped in the goo, and it can down you and slow you down. And then, of course, as we're seeing here, it explodes. So you probably wouldn't want to be doing this as your teammates running by. Case in point. So yeah, you get down, get your buddy back up. And there is a limit on lives in the game. You only have a certain amount of lives for the whole team. And I guess that's probably tied to difficulty. And look at this. We're even seeing a gun with like some sort of teapot on the top. And I guess that's justifying, you know, the goo gun or the water gun is now like the flamethrower gun where it looks like it's shooting like clumps of lava or something like that.
Focus on saving your skin.
Yeah, there you see, you know, how there's also, you know, we talked about shutting down the generators and the heaters and stuff like that. You're seeing right here how it's also an environmental factor that can be used against your enemies, but of course that can also damage you as well. And there's your safe room. So yeah, that was a short one.
Get on home.
That was a short one. Let's pull up this one. This is the last one I have, but if you guys want to react to more, I can pull up another one. So let's get it right here. This is the community first look. This one's a little longer. Yeah, you see the sticky note dudes. Yeah, and we saw that there's like zip lines too.
We're here at our studio in Finland testing Paper Chase, just one of the jobs that you'll be able to play in our upcoming 3-player cooperative first-person shooter, FBC Firebreak.
So they're being very intentional about not using the words like extraction shooter or live service game. They obviously want to come out with like DLC and more content for the game, but they're very intentionally, you know, saying like, hey, this is the co-op shooter that, you know, you sit down with your buddies or you join in with randos online, and there's also a ping system, so you don't have to worry about communicating with other players. You can ping things. You have an emote wheel where you can like communicate, you know, basic commands like, hey, thanks, you know, go over here, do this. And if we want to watch the full dev live stream, they even... The pings are so smart that if you ping an objective, the game will automatically figure out which player with which weapon needs to interact with that specific device and notify them. So the call-outs are looking pretty good.
In Firebreak, you and your friends will play as a team of volunteer first responders.
And by the way, this isn't being made by like the full Remedy team. They're busy on like, you know, the Max Payne 1 and 2 remaster. They're busy on whatever's next for the World of Control 2, I assume. And then, you know, probably thinking about Alan Wake 3, you know. So this is a very small team that has been set aside for this multiplayer project, and I'm actually pretty on board with what they're doing here.
And each job is basically a wrapper for a unique crisis that you'll be assigned to put down. And just like real
sticky
world
note
crises,
guy in the
like
background,
fires and floods, these things have a way of coming back. So the work is important, but never ends.
That's what I'm curious about. He says never ends. So my question is, are these missions like procedurally generated in any way? What's the reason for like coming back and playing more of the game? Because a lot of people are going to see this like Left 4 Dead where it's like, oh, it's just 5 or 6 missions and then it's over. And then I, you know, go sell it to GameStop or whatever. Like, you know, players say they don't want a live service experience, but then they get mad when they end up with like a linear game or like a traditional campaign style game. So I'm curious on that. I don't think I've seen an answer to that question.
The FBC has been locked down for years at this point, and everything you could imagine going wrong in a place like the oldest house has now gone wrong, and those things have turned into jobs for Firebreak.
Yeah, so being
Each
able to
job
do like
is
a
set in
taser
a different
grenade is
location within the
cool.
oldest house and features unique objectives and mechanics. Paper Chase is set in the executive sector, and there's only one objective: destroy sticky notes. You'll get to pick from 3 saved loadouts called crisis kits, each one centered around a unique tool and a general playstyle.
So that one,
Once you know what
you're putting a piggy bank on the wrench. I'm
Each one centered around a unique tool.
not sure what that does, but yeah, as you can see, it looks like from your melee weapons to your ranged weapons to your gadget weapon, it seems like everything can have like a modifier. And I'll tell you what I think about this character with the wrench. Because they mentioned you're gonna use the wrench to like put down turrets and stuff, it really reminds me of like Torbjorn from Overwatch or like the engineer from Team Fortress 2.
And a general playstyle.
Kind of vibe.
Once you know what type of job you want to take on,
your
you'll
pogo
choose the
stick.
threat level and the clearance level. Threat level deals with the combat intensity.
So yeah, pause it right here. So like I said, there's clearance levels, which are going to be tied to like, how long do you have to play? Do you want to just do one level of this adventure? Or do you have time for 3? And then, as they said, there's a threat level, and that's more of your difficulty slider. And I'm kind of curious to see, like, does that get you more resources? Is there some sort of perk to going with a higher threat level? And then, of course, you see that there's rewards for picking up lost assets and achromatic sand. It's letting you know how many corrupted items are in the mission. And I like the redacted document, too. I mean, that's very, very on par with Control. So that's a cool way to deliver the objectives.
Clearance level is all about the complexity and the length of the crisis that you're going down to face. Now, both of these levels deal with a few other cool things, but we'll talk more about those in the future.
Coming from Control to FBC Firebreak, there are some key aspects of the franchise that we really want to keep holding on to. We want to keep the game as weird as possible. And even though the team at Firebreak is a bit smaller, I think we've been able to pull the weirdness aspect really well. We have these 2 questions that we usually ask ourselves. Is the idea something that could only happen in the oldest house and that only Remedy as a developer would do? If the answer is yes to both of those questions, then it usually means we are on the right track. As a result of that creative process, we end up having quite a lot of wacky stuff in the game. This job where you need to find these mannequin ski instructors and load them on to a paranatural ski lift to appease it.
Huh.
I've been a designer of sort at Remedy for a quarter of a century now, and I personally play multiplayer games much more myself, so it's really nice to finally be actually designing a multiplayer game. It's not the kind of carefully curated single-player experience that Remedy is usually known for. It's more of a systemic game where you and your friends discover how everything works.
My absolute favorite example, we have the showers. And these are actually our main mechanic of healing in the game. But if you're just going in there, the water is gonna be cold, and the cold water is gonna slow you down for a bit. But what you can do is that you can fix the heaters attached to the showers, and then that whole thing is gonna make the whole shower experience more pleasant. Okay.
That's crazy.
When we talk about being different, we applied that same thinking to our crisis kits. So first we've got the crank-operated fluidic ejector, which is used to extinguish fires, slow down enemies, or even clean the harmful conditions off of your crewmates. Then there's the electrokinetic charge impactor, which is sort of like a defibrillator had a baby with a pogo stick.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, a defib and a pogo stick is like their analogy for this weapon here. So it's kind of cool. Like you sort of have this weapon that is like, you know, controlling the zone and keeping enemies back and getting rid of hazards. And then you have like the water gun, which is essentially used for like, you know, healing and also slowing down enemies in a way.
Which is sort of like a defibrillator had a baby with a pogo stick. And the big wrench, which is, you know, a big wrench.
Yeah, and you see here, like he's like repairing, you know, various like turrets and gadgets that you can put down as sort of the engineer type character. very much reminding me of like Torbjorn or the engineer from Team Fortress 2. And then of course you have
it's a
your
spin-off
regular
of
guns.
Control, but you're not really a levitating superhuman like Jesse. You get your power more from gadgets.
Yeah, and then the
using
speaker that
paranatural
lures
objects.
people
And
in,
then,
I
of course,
think
you
that
get power
blows
from
up.
the fact that there's 3 of you. Well, actually, still only 1 of you, but you have 2 friends. Or I hope you have 2 friends. Or get 2 friends at least.
Get 2 friends.
The combat is not just about the gun, the tools also really matter. So for example, your friend can be using a water cannon to cool off the hot heads of the hiss, and then you can be just finalizing the deal.
Sort of attachment there. Okay, and it blows up.
We want you to play this game as
electrocutes
easily as possible
everybody.
with your friends, so we're making sure that all content is available to all players.
All
With that
content.
in mind, we're not ready to talk about
So there you go. All content for all players, and they do talk about this a little later in like the full dev live stream, where they're like, we want everybody to be able to play everything. That's why all post-launch content is going to be free. You know, they don't want to run into like the Destiny problem of like, oh, do you have this expansion from 3 years ago? Oh, well, you can't play with us then, you know?
the specifics yet, but what I can confirm today is that all playable post-launch content is available for free for all players.
There you go.
Once the game is in your hands, we want to hear from you, the community, on what you think about this game, what you really like about the game, and the things that you might not like so much, because all of those things together will help shape the game in the future. And if you'd like to do that, please go to our Discord server, which is discord.gg/control. Link to that is in the description below.
I gotta check that out, actually.
We are far along in development, but there are plenty of things we haven't talked to you about, from corrupted items to player progression to resonance. But hey, that's for another time.
I'll be curious about that. But yeah, summer 2025.
Remedy. Remedy.
June 17th.
We'll play as a team of volunteer first responders. Sorry, I lost it.
It's not just about you having showers, though. It's also about your friends having showers. But let's not talk about showers anymore.
Okay. Let's see. So, if you guys are game, we can definitely take a look here at the dev stream. I'm gonna have to like scrub through it because it's like 2 hours long.
It's, you know, written or
So we'll definitely like skip around. And I'm gonna kind of skip a little bit of their commentary. Because we've kind of already like told you a little bit of what's going on there. Let me make sure aspect ratio is good. That's not bad. Okay.
This thing, and
Yeah,
this
I think
is the live
they
demo
talk about
of the
threat
game.
levels.
This is a build that is a few weeks old, so there's been stuff going in already.
Okay, here we go. Here's like the loadout screen.
We have a
So you have loadout, customization, requisitions, research. So I mean, it looks like they're gonna have like systems of maybe like some sort of like skill tree or like prestiging or, you know, some way to like customize your character or your weapons, you know, sort of upgrading them over time. And then of course you have like people deciding on what they want, the splash kit, the fix kit. They talk about some of this.
Ready here. Let me introduce our two other players. So this is Senior Communications Manager Miika Huttunen and Junior User Researcher Henrietta Satamo, who are joining us to play today. So we have a full crew. Before we jump into the job itself, Mike, let's talk about loadouts. Could you explain the concept of loadouts in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. So Firebreak can go in with one of 3 types of crisis kits, which is our word for saved loadouts. Now, each of these loadouts is based on a special set of gear that is centered around a tool and sort of auxiliary pieces to that tool. And then you can further customize it with any gun that you have and any grenade type that you want. And even though we're not going to get into it in the stream tonight, whatever sort of like perk build that you want to create.
Okay, let's see. Splash kit, fix kit, jump kit, hydro cannon, pooling and ejecting heavy globules of water, extinguishing fires, priming enemies for devastating effects, superior efficiency optimized. Okay, so it looks like these guns have been like leveled up to like level 3, and there's some sort of bar down here that indicates like how far you're leveling up a certain item. Sprays healing area, healing water in a wide area once filled by an ejector. Additional humidifiers can be collected from ammo stations. Okay. The teapot altered augment. Let's see. Superheats globules fired from the ejector, igniting all creatures they touch. Para-utilities can change over time and can be accelerated by certain actions and research perks. That's cool.
As well.
I mean, it seems like there's more to the game
so let's
than
talk about the different
they've
kits that we
revealed.
have. We have 3 different kits. Let's talk about the splash kit first.
Sure. Yeah, so this is the splash kit. This centers around something that is called the crank-operated fluidic ejector. Rolls right off of the tongue. You can definitely just call it ejector for short.
Or coffee.
Or coffee, or the coffee, yeah. And what this tool does is, as you can kind of see in that preview video here, is it spits out a bunch of globules of water. And this is really great for a lot of things in the game. Putting out fires, definitely one of the main things that you're going to do. You can kind of stagger the hiss with a charge shot with these huge globules of water. You can make a lot of them soaked at the same time, priming them for different combos with a bunch, clear harmful conditions from your friends, etc.
Great. Then next, let's talk about the fix kit.
Yeah, so the...
Oh, hang on. I wanted to read their little description there.
With a charge shot, different combos.
Then next, let's talk about the fix kit.
Okay, so let's see. The wrench, capable of repairing machinery and staggering enemies with powerful swings. Swivel cannon fires projectiles at enemies once assembled by a wrench. Additional swivel cannons can be collected from ammo stations. Okay, the piggy bank altered augment here. Attached to a wrench once para-utility reaches full charge. Piggy bank can be swung into enemies with the wrench. It breaks apart. After a delay, its pieces paranaturally reform on the wrench, damaging any creatures they hit along the way. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, so the fix kit is basically
You
just
can
about
fix
a
the
gigantic
showers,
wrench. You can
the
hit enemies
enemies.
with it to knock them back. You can hit machines to break them. You can hit machines to repair them. You can hit components to build them. Basically, you're going to run around a lot hitting things. This also comes with, you can see in that video here, what we call the swivel turret, which is basically a giant cannon that someone has strapped to a wheelie office chair to help you out in combat.
Awesome. Then, last but not least, the jump kit.
Yeah,
The
jump kit.
Let me go back and see. They just like tab on it real quick, and I like when I can find moments to like read the lore about little things like this, and they literally tab over it so quick. It's like a split second right here.
Out in combat.
Awesome. Then, last but not least, the...
Okay, jump kit. Let's see. Electrokinetic charge impactor. Portable compression impactor capable of delivering an impressive amount of electricity through the conductive plate attached to its end. The boombox taunts enemies before exploding once charged with an impactor. Garden gnome augment can be attached once an impactor reaches full para-utility charge. Once attached, aim and fire the gnome to produce a massive paranatural storm for a short duration. Para-utilities charge over time and can be accelerated by certain actions and research perks.
The jump kit.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
the jump kit is probably my favorite kit. I guess I shouldn't play favorites too much. And this one actually came into being in the same way I'll describe it now, which was, what if we combined a defibrillator with a pogo stick? And that's exactly what it is. So basically with this thing, it's obviously great for mobility. You can hop around, get to really, really high places in the game, get away from danger pretty quickly, and also inject things with shock. Now, you can make that an enemy. You can also do that a battery that needs charged to kind of get the heater going in a machine, or otherwise power a device in the game.
Cool. And I'm going to go with the jump kit for this time around. So now we're ready to jump into Paper Chase, clearance level 1. So we're just going to be seeing one zone, right?
Yeah, exactly. And since we're jumping into clearance level 1, typically this is kind of an onboarding experience to kind of just understand what a crisis is like, what a space is like, what you're trying to do. So this is going to be very short, and very short by design. We're also going to go in at a really low threat level to try to keep things a little calmer while we poke around and get a good sense for the game.
Cool. They're coming in.
All right, so we're entering through the service elevator. This is what we always do. This is
Big
how we
deck.
kind of, yeah.
Got that
It's how
big
we
font.
jump into jobs. And it's also where we're going to leave the job when we're all done. So it's our way in and our way out.
So our shower is over here, which is our main healing mechanic, but it's broken. But luckily, we have Henrietta with the wrench, and then I can... Because if I go in there now, you'll notice that the water... Actually, I already electrified it, so it's warm now. But it would have been cold if I hadn't electrified it. And actually, we have some enemies that are going to come towards us from the behind. Guys on floating chairs.
Like you do. But yeah, the shower is a great example of the sort of things that you're going to kind of use your tools for. I'm sure Julius will show you in a little bit, but of course, like, you can use the tool, get that done really efficiently, warm up the water, turn it from a small drip to a big kind of gushing amount of water coming out of the shower. Or you could do neither of those things and heal in the cold, slow down, and not get very much at all. Now, you can also deal with those things without the right tool, but that comes with its own dangers and efficiency problems, which we'll showcase in a bit.
And showering together, always more efficient, so shower with your buddies.
Yeah, it's definitely a good water-saving technique.
Yeah. So let's go look around a little bit on the map. I'm going to jump up with the impactor, the electrokinetic charge impactor, I believe. Rolls off the tongue.
Yes.
So
we got a
have
flashlight
bunch
we can
of
toggle
sticky notes
to.
everywhere. So what are we doing in this job
Yeah,
again?
so this job is all about getting rid of these replicating sticky notes. They look so innocent there on the floor on those dead bodies. Maybe not so innocent, but basically when they're dry and when you're dry, they're going to leap onto your body as you walk past. Now, that is actually one good way of getting rid of them, as long as you shower them off before they take you over and consume you. We'll see a little bit more about that later. But for now, of course, they're a bit pesty, just kind of obscuring your vision. You should probably wash those things off before you're completely blinded. And we're trying to just get rid of them from the level. And you can see that big counter going down in the top. Lots of things get rid of these. One of them, and the best ways, is actually just like I get rid of sticky notes in my real life, is to get them really, really wet and then throw grenades at them or shoot them with guns. Of course, what you just saw is a great combo here. You get them really wet, you can hit them with the impactor, creating a big chain effect of lightning. And of course, if there are any hiss there, they're going to get caught up in that, and your friends might get caught up in it too. So be a little bit careful.
I think if they didn't do all these like gameplay videos, and if they didn't do this dev showcase, I don't think I'd be very sold on the game from the initial trailer. I'd be interested because it's Remedy and it's Control and all that, but
actually try to show
would I really be sold on it long term
what
unless
you
it
guys are
has
seeing here
like
is called
this
a breaker.
kind of
This is
replay
actually
value.
a hiss that you haven't seen before Firebreak, mostly because that's actually a member of Firebreak who has very unfortunately succumbed to the hiss resonance. And is now quite a nuisance.
Here's the safe room.
Cool. Yeah, so this is a safe room. Now you're going to find different safe rooms all over the place. And in these safe rooms, what you're going to do is open them up if you want. Go inside, find extra ammo, find extra grenades, and you're actually going to find a currency that you can pick up called lost assets, because the most important thing in a crisis is to recover the paperwork. At least that's what the FBC thinks. Now, if you bring those assets out successfully, which is to say that you don't die and get back on the elevator with them, you'll actually be able to bank them and share them with your friends. And this is the primary way that you're going to collect currency in the game. The other great thing about safe rooms, although it doesn't matter quite as much in clearance level 1, is that it also opens a respawn point in the unfortunate event of your premature death. Now later, if you go deeper and deeper into the level, this obviously becomes a lot more important. Otherwise, you're taking that elevator down, once again, quite far away from your team.
So we have a bunch of enemies coming in. I'm going to drop my improvised device here.
Yes,
the boombox.
Charged it up.
Pun definitely intended. This is a type of device that when you charge it up, you kind of actually, it's the one thing that you actually need the tool to do. So it's pretty special for the jump kit. That's going to actually attract a lot of hiss, and once it takes enough damage, which you can help with, or you can just let them kind of hit it on their own, it's going to go boom.
Let me show you.
It says it right there on the tin. You're a bit far back, but I don't blame you. Cool. And actually, we haven't mentioned this, but you guys are actually in what we call evacuation. So that means that your objective is done. The FBC says, hey, good job, guys. You're completed.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Optionally, try to get out of there and survive. So what you're going to need to do now is get all the way back to the elevator, call it, wait for it, and get on while the hiss are very, very aggravated.
They're very aggravated.
They're very aggravated.
They're so angry.
Yeah.
Why are they so angry?
Someone in chat wants to let Henrietta know that she's doing a great job.
Henrietta, you're doing a great job.
So you guys got some big enemies coming at you now.
I'm gonna juke them.
Waiting on that elevator.
These guys are definitely easier when you've got a team.
Oh, here's the humidifier.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so this is obviously just an office water cooler that somebody has poked some holes in. It's really
Portable
great at spreading
healing.
water. You can also see somebody's hit a few of the sprinklers up top and set them off, creating even more water.
Oh, we can go in. Oh, come on in. All right.
All right, awesome.
Bye-bye.
Nice work.
Pretty cool.
All right. Contained. So that was clearance level 1 with just one zone from Paper Chase. And here we have...
let me jump ahead.
To cool them down. Oh, hey, look at that. The lights are back on.
Lights are back on. So Henrietta fixed them with her wrench. She can quickly fix them. But let me actually show you...
We'll show more.
Let's go.
We'll skip around a bit because this is like 2 hours
okay, so
long.
now you guys are seeing some escalation of the crisis here with these guys, which are called shufflers. Now you did see some of these sticky notes on corpses in the last zone. Well, this is what happens over time, and guess what? It can also happen to you if you're not careful and if you get too many sticky notes on you. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
And they're really annoying enemies because they basically hide from you, and if you don't get rid of them, they replicate.
Yeah.
Like the sticky notes do.
Yeah, but they're full bodies, unlike just little basic notes.
Yeah, so let's try to find a safe room. Oh, there it is. There's the shelter.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Now, you're going to want to put that fire out. Now, you can contextual ping that fire. Try to get somebody over to help you put that out with the right tool.
Mika, can you come over and take care of the fire? Thank you.
Well done.
And then we open that. So now we have a place if I happen to fall once again, like I did so eloquently earlier. Then
that's so
respawn there
cool.
instead of the elevator at the very beginning. Only shock this guy so he can't do nothing.
All right, get in there. Now, in there, you'll see you've got a little bit of cover, some sprinklers. We're picking up some ammo now.
It's a little more unique.
It's
It's
got
got
a
a
little...
little
And of course, if you need a
bit
little
of
bit
that
of a healing
unique
drink,
twist
there is, of course, a faucet
that
for a
Left 4
tiny
Dead
sip.
doesn't really have, and that
and
games
some
like
paperwork. Make sure you
Vermintide and Back 4 Blood have actually like innovated on
All right, cool.
classic
So you've got more
formula.
shufflers up here. Now,
You know,
one thing
we're
that
not
you're gonna
just
notice
blasting
is that sticky note
zombies.
count
There's like
is much higher
team-based
here, and the reason is
objectives.
because
There's
those shufflers are actually
specific
incredibly
weapons, specific
dense
hazards.
creatures. They're made of lots
You know,
and lots
maybe
and
a
lots
little
of
bit of
sticky notes. So if you want
randomization
take
to
down
it.
this sort of number, you're going to need to take out a lot of those guys. Wow, it is chaos here.
It is pure chaos.
But you guys are doing really well.
Yeah.
Lots of good combos. Lots of these sprinklers have been activated. I saw another fire extinguisher pop, cooling these guys down. You got the boombox going. Okay. My faith is building.
All about
Hey,
tactics and
great. I'm gonna have
teamwork.
a little drink
A
for
bit of
the,
strategy there.
What do you call this?
To be clear, there are way better ways to heal than this.
But, you know, I'm on the go.
Sometimes you're just thirsty.
I'm
Okay.
a firebreaker on the go, and
Now
now I'm
you
gonna
guys-
shoot my gnome, the garden gnome, the infamous.
This is a good idea because
he is.
you've just got a strong enemy who just randomly
So,
spawned into the middle of what
Watch
you're
out,
doing.
team, because The guardian gnome does not differentiate friend from
Yeah,
foe.
and keeping an eye on those
It just
sprinklers
goes
in
to
the ceiling.
the
That's
closest thing that it
seems to
can
be
find,
pretty
and it
key.
summons a lightning storm. And we actually had a special enemy
that was
who's
like
in the middle
a
of it now,
sort of a
Alex
mini
Cohen,
boss
and he's getting
character.
destroyed.
Yeah.
But he's still up. So what are these special named enemies?
Yeah, so these named enemies
Yeah, right.
are kind of just harass it with the butt of the rifle there. So these named enemies are actually super powerful hiss. They're randomized sort of super powered hiss that come in at the best possible moments. Or the worst ones. And what they do is they are so
that's
strong
cool.
that the FBC is terrified to let them back into the safe spaces of the oldest house where everyone other than Firebreak is kind of, I just imagine, having margaritas and chilling out. And so they actually close all of the doors. That means there's no evacuating, there's no getting through to the next containment zone until you hunt down that hiss and take them down.
Okay, so if a boss shows up, you gotta
All right,
deal
cool.
with
And
it.
you guys actually are ready for the third
Nico,
zone?
can you?
Otherwise, you
wet
can't
him?
escape.
I'm gonna hit him with the electricity.
Look at those hordes, too.
Well, first of all, it amplifies the damage. On non-sticky note enemies, it actually also amplifies the stun, kind of keeping them in place for other players to kind of come in with a good grenade or a gunshot. Now, with sticky notes and with enemies, the best thing, though, is that it spreads the electricity. So if you've got any water going on anywhere between, showers, on the floor, on enemies, on yourself, because, of course, as Julius is here wet, you can see on the screen, all of the electricity is going to jump between all of those sources. So very powerful, but you also need to be careful, especially at higher threat levels where the friendly fire becomes more important.
Hello, chair.
Hello, chair.
All right, are we all here? Yeah, we're.
Oh, those
good
sticky
spot.
notes.
There's a humidifier.
There's a lot more of them now. There's
Yeah,
like
humidifier is
2.4 mil.
It's out of juice.
That's crazy.
Well, it was clutch.
Oh no! Here we go.
That's clutch again.
Want another question from chat?
Sure.
You go for it.
Someone asked, my friend is really bad at video games, but I love them so much.
Yeah.
How are you making sure that you're catering to different skill levels?
Yeah, I really love that question because it's been super important to us from the very, very beginning of making this game. So, of course, as I mentioned, you have a lot of levers to pull when you're deciding how to play the game. So you can turn the difficulty down, you can turn the session length down, you can turn the randomization and the modifiers down to accommodate. Now, if you just want to throw your friend in the action, also fair. The fixed kit is a great choice for them. Lots of hitting with the wrench. Still really fulfilling. I don't want to undersell it, but it's a little easier to control if you're not quite as well versed in video games. And of course, the other thing is that once we have a chance to explore the perk system a bit more, you'll see that you can actually equip all of your awesome high-level perks and share them to new players, whether they haven't played this game for a long time or they just need the help. You're going to actually be able to support them inside of the experience. And this is how we try to make sure that everyone can stay united and play together and not say, oh, well, I'm like level a gazillion, so don't play with me, man. Wow, and actually, while I was talking, look what's going on here. You guys have found a safe room that is
vertical,
maybe sideways.
It's vertical, yeah. So the oldest house is a shifting space.
I like that because that totally fits in with
so this safe room does actually
control
function.
lore.
And the toilet is the right way up, which I think is important.
Things are always weird.
So this
and
does function. There's stuff
Some
here for
hero
us
has
to
done
get,
that.
like a grenade over there. Let me grab that. And if we go down, we will actually respawn in this vertical one. But let's move on because we're getting actually to a very fun part of this job. You might have seen him briefly in our trailers. The one, the only, Sticky Ricky. And actually, Sticky Ricky, also known as Adhesive Richard.
Adhesive Richard, yes. Yes.
In one of the localizations,
Yeah, and there is
I forget which
crossplay.
language, the text localizations. We have a bunch of text localizations for the game.
Crossplay
One of them is
and
called
friendly
Evo
fire.
Adhesivo, I think.
Yeah, that's way better.
So we have some friends behind us. Watch out, team.
All right.
Let's get rid of these. There we go. Oof. Wow, where did you come from?
I mean, they're literally replicating.
All right, well, he's going there, so let's follow him to meet Sticky Ricky.
Oh, we see he's here. Threshold
There he is.
Entity 14
There's your
as
boss.
he's actually formerly known.
Yeah, so what are we doing here?
Yeah, so you can see that sticky note count has gone way, way up. Mr. Sticky Ricky. is angry. Now, Firebreak, of course, returns to these crises over and over again. There's no really getting rid of them forever, and so Firebreak has set up these traps to kind of help whenever they have to send crews out to deal with it. So one trap is going to actually set up a bunch of showers to soak this guy, and the other trap is going to hit with a huge electrical force. I can see that your crew is right now busy fixing all of the components which have broken inside of this kind of
is going to do the water now, so...
All right, great. Once you guys have that water
It's
going...
really cool that each player kind of has their role.
And now he's vulnerable to damage.
All right, take him down.
Oh no, he's going to get me.
Now, one of the fun things about Sticky Ricky, or not so fun, is that later, once you get to start playing with threat level and corruption more, his behaviors will actually change. And so there's a few different things that
cool.
this guy does that you're not even going to see here today.
So, okay, now he's not vulnerable anymore, so now we need to...
There's more to it.
Redo that.
You do. Now, I do want to mention, though, that Sticky Ricky is actually systemic like the rest of the game. Now, I don't recommend this, but you could just kind of get him soaked and then hit him with electricity by conventional means to do some damage. Now, that would take a very long time.
Luckily,
are you fixed? Oh, yeah, you are. Good.
Yeah, so
all right,
utilize
this is a good space. Oh, watch out for that.
Strategies added to the level.
All right, I think you guys.
Aww.
Get him.
Oh no, is he?
No,
no. Miko, can you get some water on Sticky Ricky? Thanks.
So close and yet so far.
There.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
I am very much covered. But luckily, there is a humidifier
You've
here, which
taken
will
home
clean
a parting gift. Yeah.
Okay, we need to get out of here because there's going to be a lot of
guys
this.
yeah,
Let's
Got
go.
sticky notes everywhere.
All right, well done.
Some water on me. Get some ammo. Okay, we need to run because they're
Heal up, grab ammo.
They're coming. They're here, as Hank said.
I think I dig it. I wasn't initially
I'm happy to reveal that Julius is actually the voice actor.
interested
You
at
couldn't
the
tell.
first trailer,
That's
but
me, I think. No,
I think
obviously
seeing
not
more
me.
and
It's
more
professional voice
gameplay,
actors,
this
not me,
looks
professional
great.
goof. But yeah, we're now in the evacuation sequence for clearance level 3.
Yeah, and you guys are backtracking right now quite a bit, which is great because I can see that Julius, you are outrunning the hordes, which is wonderful for now. They might catch up with you here soon.
Let's set up some stuff in case they do catch us
Not
up.
a bad idea.
So that's gonna.
And don't forget to call the elevator.
Yeah, we need to do
much like actual elevators. Takes longer than you want.
Yeah, there's a little
There it
timer
is.
there.
All right.
Ooh, look at that go.
Okay.
You know what?
See, I got a swivel cannon there. Oh,
Gnome
maybe,
time.
Maybe time for another gnome.
There he is.
All right.
Our friend.
Oh, I see him back there. Oh, and.
Ooh, and the. Oh no, he's here! How did he get here? No. No. Okay, we're good. He didn't come to us. Yeah, so once again, the garden gnome does not distinguish between a friend or foe, so he will just go to whoever's closest and will damage all of us.
All right. Looking good. Now I see someone's filled the humidifier actually with the super hot tea, which actually kind of creates a volcano. Not so great for healing anymore, but it is nice on a choke point.
We got an invisible enemy.
Okay, well.
Okay, let's go.
All right, get out of there.
Uh-oh, I might have closed the door early. Nope, we're good.
Nope. Okay, you're not allowed to bring friends home.
No worries.
Okay, that's okay.
No worries, Miko, we got you.
And there's literally still another person
I'm
there. Okay. You guys
Not
have
like
it distorted
this.
in the elevator with you.
Not like this.
Fun fact, the distorted is actually wearing high heels.
Oh?
Slaying and slaying. It's
Okay, I'm gonna redeploy so we can get back there.
Can you?
Yeah, probably. Oh, look at that T-pose. Amazing. Okay.
Oh no. Okay.
We're in... Where are we now? Zone 2? Yeah. We're in Zone 2. We can get back there.
All right.
I just need to...
Well, the good news for you is that all of them seem to be collected at the elevator right now.
Yeah, so we'll get there. Let's wash those off.
If they don't leave without you.
No, they wouldn't do that. That would be...
Okay, I think they're almost done with that mission.
Oh, wait, you don't have any.
We might check out
back. They're
another
in the
one,
elevator.
Okay.
and then we'll wrap up.
There we go.
All right, nice.
Oh, snap.
Oh, see, this is what happens when you save your friends.
Yeah, so actually we could, like, we could have left.
Pro tip, let them die.
Who's behind me?
I'm just kidding. Don't play video games with me.
Oh, no, I got.
He's getting shot by
This is how
something.
it starts. So if you couldn't tell, this game has a large aspect of risk versus reward.
I'm redeploying.
The riskier that you get, the more rewards that you have going and saving friends who are carrying a lot of currency, or trying to get some just kind of additional XP multipliers at the end for having more survivors. Now, the good news for these guys is, now that they have 0 lives left, is that even if they all die at this point, the bureaucracy of the FBC says, hey, you know what though? Sticky Ricky went down. The job is actually still a victory. Victory is assured at this point. The big question here is, are they going to leave with the currency that they collected during the job?
There.
And with 0 lives, it's gotten a bit exciting.
Little tense.
Put this on to distract them.
Oh my gosh. There. Oh. Now, actually, that distorted is actually on fire. which is nice, because you can actually see them when they're invisible. You just fire flame. Oh, it's broken! No, it fixed. Okay.
No, we fixed it.
Yeah, sometimes the elevator breaks.
We made it.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna catch my breath. Okay.
We did it.
Hey.
GG's.
Oh my gosh. Good job.
Post one in chat. For GG's.
Well done.
There you go.
Divas extracted. Yes.
Now,
so that
I
was
think
clearance.
we might have watched some of these trailers already.
For a long time, we've been looking for a way to take our strength at building these fascinating worlds and taking our really like action-focused sort of combat gameplay and combine them into a multiplayer game. And not just multiplayer game, but something cooperative. Basically, we want to provide you and your friends the chance to step into one of Remedy's worlds together for a shared experience for the first time. To many of you, the setting of Firebreak might look familiar. It's set in the exact same location as Control, the oldest house.
Each location has been completely reimagined from the ground up, shifted into something that works well for our chaotic 3-player gameplay. We knew from the very beginning that we wanted to make Firebreak a first-person experience. It just felt so unique and original to run around the oldest house in first-person view.
Firebreak takes place some years after the events of that game, but was designed as an entirely standalone experience. So even if you haven't played Control, if you like cooperative shooters, you're gonna love this game. So in this game, you play
I
as
definitely
a
think you'll
volunteer
get
member
more
of a
out of it
unit
if
called
you're
Firebreak.
familiar
And
with
that name,
Control, but
Firebreak,
yeah,
actually
that's
comes
cool that
from
they did it that
real-life
way.
fire breaks. It's a physical idea of something that stands between the danger and the thing that needs protecting. And the reason why you're called Firebreak is because that's your job, to stand between the crisis and the thing that needs protecting, which in this case is the Bureau itself. So before you and your friends drop into a mission, it's important to pick the right gear. And you do that through loadouts that we call crisis kits. But of course, your choices and your friends' choices need to make sense together. Or not. It's up to you.
So obviously when we're making like a co-op multiplayer experience, it's very important to think about the second-to-second gameplay. And once you really embrace that way of working, you start seeing a lot of genuine feelings kind of arise. And you find yourself thinking, you know, how excited am I playing this? Am I having fun?
What we're really excited about is something that we call paranatural augments. What these are is like a special kind of attachment for your tools. They sort of look like mundane items. And this is like an experimental program
or the
from the
piggy
FBC.
bank.
So when you fire them out,
or the gnome,
the unexpected happens.
And what I like to do personally is use laughter as a metric. So sometimes in the team, someone proposes an idea that is so outrageous that you can't help but laugh. And usually the next step is, you know, let's try that in the game and see if that works. From there on, it's really easy to take what we have and iterate it further and make it more fun.
We've only scratched the surface when it comes to FBC Firebreak, and we look forward to showing you a lot more in 2025.
All right, cool. Let's see if there's anything else here.
Is actually quite good for taking care of hot situations.
Yeah, exactly. And even though you're not changing
Oh,
your
yeah,
grenade
this is
or your gun
the-
right now,
the
or
heat-based
your
mission.
perk setup, you actually could do that.
I could.
Yeah, I think
Miko,
we'll
can you
watch
change over
that,
to the
and then
jump kit.
that'll be all that we can react to, really.
Let me see if Mika's gonna change. Mika. Well, we can jump in.
Sometimes your friends just don't want to change, and that's okay.
That's okay. It's valid. But yeah, Mika can also change once we are in the job as well, which is okay. So we can go with 2 splash kits. That's also fine.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no restrictions on duplicating kits in the game. And as I said, you can start that way and then find out that it doesn't work quite as well and switch out later.
Yeah.
Shock grenade, gunpowder grenade.
Ah, okay. So
Got
that
the
was
revolver,
apparently
the
a bug, because he
SMG,
was
kinda
wrong.
like
He
an
was- He had the
MP40
jump
it
kit, but it
looked
showed
like.
that he had the splash kits.
Oh, live builds are so
Live builds.
fun.
But it is also fun that we can show the game live like this and bump into these little bugs. when
Yeah,
we are
no,
in
it's
the
amazing. It's really
final
good,
stretches
actually.
of game development. All right, here we are in hotfix.
Cool. Yeah, so hotfix, you may notice that little icon has already
Here are the
showed
transfer
up next to
fans.
your health bar there. Now, that's not a special icon. It's just using the sort of heat system from the rest of the game, except for, as I mentioned before, this place is pretty hot. So if you don't find ways to cool down as you do your work, you are going to eventually immolate.
Yes, so we're fixing these fans over here, so Mika has the right tool
Pretty
for the
cool
job.
about the
So
hazards.
boom, and now the fans start moving again.
Nice. And once you get these fans moving, that area around the fans is actually going to start cooling down. So if you start running into trouble with heat, you can actually, maybe don't get too close, you'll get kind of chopped up. But if you stay at a safe distance, much like actual transfer fans, you should be okay.
Oh yeah, Hand needs to go there, and it's actually really hot, so I'm gonna cool her down.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So she
Pretty
doesn't.
smart. I like the teamwork
Yeah,
aspect.
nice. And we just saw her
We'll
do the
see
rush
how it
ability. So
works.
actually, once you
when you're
upgrade
playing with
your
randos
wrench,
or
your wrench gets
your
a lot
teammates
lighter,
aren't paying
and
attention.
you can actually do a cool rush in order to get where you're going much faster, slam into the hiss, etc.
Actually, need to go this way, but we
You
just.
just,
It was
I just
fun.
wanted to keep
It was
riding
fun
the
to zip.
I know.
It's fun to
It
zip.
is fun. It is fun.
Whomst of us does not enjoy a good zipping and zooming around? Is Mika here? Mika, come to us. Let me ping this.
It's always like a seance. Mika, are you with us? There he is.
We needed her to electrify
And of course, just as a reminder, anybody could have really done that objective. And that's by the way, when you do play this game solo, even though, of course, having your friends with you is always going to be kind of the prime experience here, when you play the game solo, you are going to go ahead and need to do all these emergencies by yourself, pick the tool that you want, and do the rest by hand. So I hope you're pretty good at that game. All right.
Where you go?
Oh, as a reminder, I guess we forgot to talk about you cranked this up on the threat level.
Oh,
didn't
yes.
you? Okay.
I put high.
Oh, this should get interesting.
As the threat level. So what does that mean for us in practice?
Well, it means you need to practice.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
You're gonna get some practice. Yeah. And actually, you're still in the first zone, so things are probably gonna be okay.
That'll be good.
Oh yeah. I like that confidence. You know who else had confidence?
Whomst?
Icarus.
He like made it to the sun, right?
He famously,
That's the story.
He famously did not make it to the sun.
No.
No.
The story says he made it to the sun. He became a son of the sun, and that's what the lesson is. Found family.
What is going on with the Finnish education system? Anyway, okay, so where are you guys? You've got 3 transfer fans left. And again, a lot of this game is about efficiency.
Climber mechanics
so
are
you
good
guys
too,
could
of
absolutely sit around and take your time not repairing these fans, but if you do it, these waves are going to come faster and faster, harder and harder, and really start risking your ability to succeed at this job.
Yeah, so knowing how to
You did a
like
great job
manage
pulling down
the
team also.
crowds
That is actually
of
really,
enemies
really important.
and
So,
also
here's
do
an
the
interesting
objectives.
thing. We actually fixed this
going to be
already,
key.
but because there was so
Pretty
much
typical in this
damage
type of
happening,
game,
these broke. So we have to fix these again.
Yeah, the hiss can also come and mess these up. You can also mess these up, but don't do that.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, Oh, look at that.
I'll
Now you're kind of doing a big
big
charge shot,
glob.
right? Now, when you do that charge shot, you are going to apply wet, but you're also going to stagger those guys, which is really fantastic for placing a grenade, getting a combo with another team member. And
That's
you can, of
pretty
course,
handy.
get that crank going and kind of do more of like a Gatling gun situation. Yeah, there you go. Ow! And that's going to rapid fire tiny globules.
Globules, yep.
Globules.
That's a great word.
It's a great word until you have to say it.
No, it's really
20.
It's like itinerary.
All right, so you guys are good to go.
Yeah, we just need to take care of this guy.
He's fine. Cool. So actually, he's taunted by that boombox, which is fantastic.
Okay, we got him.
Yep. All right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Zone 2, let's head in there. So things are gonna heat up in the second zone, right?
Oh my god.
Yes, they absolutely are. And of course, you cool down this zone with the transfer fans. So this zone should be nice. Oh yeah, actually there is this. Well, I guess there is this that happens. So when we talk about what the furnace does,
I'm gonna use my teapot. So I'm shooting hot water now instead of regular water. So it is quite powerful. And there's also the gnome in there, wreaking havoc. So we just decimated this group of enemies.
Perfect. Now, what we saw also just a glimpse of, and I'm sure we'll see again, is actually some of the furnace flaring up is actually coming through these transfer fans, because as you get deeper into the crisis, you progress into new zones, things become more dangerous. You saw this in Paper Chase when all of a sudden in the second zone you started getting shufflers, and although fortunately it didn't happen to the team, they could actually become shufflers themselves if they got hit with that. So here, these fans are also producing so much heat that it's turning purple. Fortunately not.
Is that like the levels of heat is orange, blue, purple,
and then plaid, I think.
Plaid. Ooh. Isn't that was the highest speed in Spaceballs?
I think it was.
Yeah. Shout out Spaceballs.
Another cool thing you can see also here is like, although we are working on these elements, so they are going to change. We're going to have the same functionality. You can actually see up there your resonance shield, which is about, I don't know, what is that, like 60% full. And there's a little widget right above that that shows
we
a
got
number.
about
now, that
maybe
number is going to quickly
6,
show you how many
7
members of the crew are near
minutes
to you.
left on
And
the
that
mission.
means, obviously, if it's 2, that's great. Everyone's shield is working at full effect. And if you have perks that can share with other people, you're sharing too. And you can see those little dingles. I never know what to call
there it
them.
is.
Oh, yeah, watch out for that. Not healthy.
Come down here, Mika. We're down
That's
here.
actually showing you, generally speaking, from a compass perspective, where the team is. So if you ever get lost, you don't have to just spam the ping saying, here, here, here. People can just see really quickly where other people are. It's super, super important to have
Ooh,
that.
button inputs.
Nice job. Ooh, look at you. I saw you get shot.
All right.
Hazard of the job.
More. I'll get it.
Yeah, now what you're seeing here a little bit, if you see some stuttering, is we've got some heat particles coming out of that fan that sometimes are a little bit intense. So that's one of the things that we're fixing right now, just in case you're wondering what you're seeing. All right, nice.
So the water actually also makes them weaker, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, at least it cools them down. So it's not really a debuff. It's more of like a removal of a buff. I don't know. I guess I'm splitting hairs here, but really it's important when they are already hot.
There we go.
To kind of bring them back down to regular.
Isn't the
healthy
removal of
temperatures.
the buff a debuff?
Evening the playing field.
Yeah, exactly. And in a place
Maybe.
like Hotfix, it's super important because even, as you are getting closer to lighting on fire yourself, the hiss are actually constantly getting buffed when they come at you. So this is actually a pretty dangerous place.
Let's go this way, peeps. Follow me.
Yeah, so the heat makes the enemies
You can
move
also use
even
your voice wheel
faster,
if you
which
want,
is
just to kind of say group up. Yep, up top. Boop. Boop. There you go.
Look at that.
Yeah. Don't breathe that.
Or be in it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
All right.
Let's fix it.
Yep.
That's for Henrietta, no? Henrietta, that's you.
Yeah, and you can see a nice contextual ping there too. So like if you ping something like that uses a specific tool, even though anybody can do it, it's gonna automatically pick any player that has the tool that's best at that and deliver that ping straight to them so that they know that they've been requested to kind of come and do some maintenance.
So
That
I'm actually
makes
getting
sense.
hot now. You can see on the left the
that way the
counter
player who
going
is
up,
best
not
served
the
to do that
I can actually pull
action
myself off
will
by
be
shooting
notified.
at my own feet. I could,
At least you could if you weren't on a grade.
if I weren't on a grade. But
Oh wow,
there we go.
the
So now
water
I'm a
went
little bit
through
wet
the
and it got rid
grate.
of the hotness.
One of the fun things we're working on right now as well is to be able to shoot the ceiling and have it kind of like, you know, rain down on you as well.
Really?
Yeah, well, we'll see if it gets in. As you said, we throw everything into the end, make a mess for ourselves, but we're doing our best to get everything cool into the game that we can. All right, nice job. How many more do you have left? One left.
One more.
Okay.
This way.
I gotta say, you guys have gotten away with a pretty easy, hard run here. I'm happy for you.
Let me keep Henrietta cool so she does not overheat. All right, let's get out of here.
Ooh, look at you guys.
Oh,
This
we
is
got
professional.
guns. Just run through. Just run through. Maybe don't.
Oh boy.
Cock that grenade.
Now, actually, there's quite a bit of like stagger systems in this game. So, you know, everybody has a light melee that's kind of like a bit of an elbow hit.
that.
Yeah, exactly. And you can do that while you're holding anything. Oh, haha. No evacuation for you.
Oh,
Oh no, a mini boss
Josh
just
Sullivan.
spawned in.
Anyway,
Josh
so
Sullivan.
you can kind of knock these guys off balance, stagger them, and actually, you know, a lot of the time your tools are really good for this kind of utility. If you get
Very
swamped
much like
with that,
Left
you're
4
just having
Dead,
fun.
you can
Not
stagger
having fun
with
in the
like
video game.
the
So what you can
melee.
do is even if you're out of ammo,
Unless you have the
unfortunately,
wrench,
guys haven't
you know,
run
you
into
can
this
use
problem,
it for
but it does-
actual
Check this.
melee.
Check this.
Oh boy, here we go.
So the humidifier is now filled with hot water.
Yeah.
We're gonna give them the time of their lives. I need a shower.
Nice, nice.
Oh, they're down.
Oh boy. Oh, see, this is what I was talking about with Icarus, too close to the sun there. Forgot your team on a power trip, and now look what's happened. Now look how fast they're going.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
Oh my gosh.
We're doing great.
Have you even called the elevator? No, you haven't. Call the elevator.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
coming.
No, it's ticking. I think
I
it's
can't press
going,
it.
yeah.
Oh, because Josh is here.
You need to
We
kill.
need to
Yeah,
get
you gotta
rid of
take
Josh.
out the
We can't call
boss.
down the elevator.
Gosh, yeah,
Because
it's
of
in
Josh.
You're in a lockdown in a lockdown right now. This
Very
is as
meta.
locked down as you can get.
Very meta. Okay, let's
Oh
redeploy.
gosh, this is rough. Oh, that Josh Sullivan,
I'm redeploying. Where
my
am
rival.
I? You're right.
Down.
Diva Dirt. Where am I? Oof. All right, we're getting.
Yeah,
back.
only on
Okay,
next-gen
yeah.
consoles and
Give it down.
PC.
I smell a new Steam handle for you, Julius.
Let's make it happen.
All right, you gotta get Josh.
Yeah, we're
tired of
we're
this
gonna
guy.
get him. Oh well.
Boy. Remember what I was saying? You guys got off kind of easy before.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's looking pretty rough right now.
I cursed you. I'm so sorry.
Jinxed
Yeah.
us, as it were.
Look at all those like heavy enemies right there. That's not even the mini boss, dude. Oh, there he is. There he
Josh is
is.
over there.
They're
He's
hitting him
There.
now.
Oh, he's there.
Right there.
Yeah. All right. Well, he's there for now. Oh, he's just a puny guard. I can't
Yeah.
believe you had so much trouble.
Well, he's down now, so let's run to the elevator,
All right, good
folks.
idea.
Yeah, time to
Elevator time.
go.
Let's run.
Yep.
Awesome,
You
everyone's
guys
going.
need to go.
And now that the boss is defeated,
All right,
they
now
can
you can finally
extract.
press the button. The lockdown has lifted.
Yes, they have miniguns. There's his.
Oh, now you have to
miniguns.
wait for the
You saw-
elevator
you saw
to
it,
arrive.
right.
So yeah,
Let's do that.
you gotta hold off even more.
Other weapon. Well, our bestie, the relaxing end. Shout out to the relaxing end.
Shout out, relaxing end.
Asked about different gun varieties. 'Cause
Yeah.
you've got a shotgun.
I've got a shotgun, yeah. Henrietta has a revolver, and Mika has a submachine gun.
Yeah, so we don't really think about this as kind of like what I might call like a gun collection game because we're really all about like
Not a
devices
looter
and
shooter.
tools and utility. But guns
Or
are
an
obviously
extraction
super
shooter.
important in a shooter. We typically think about our guns as three archetypes. We have kind of what we sometimes call a blast archetype, which is shotgun based, a precision archetype, which is like the revolver, for example, and then we have kind of a spray archetype. And we actually think that these synergize a little bit with the kits as well, and what they're good at. So you'll be able to play with play with a good variety. And the guns that we do have also can be upgraded a few times just to get some extra power out
We're
of it.
getting out of here.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
actually. Well done, and lots of jumping and celebration.
Huzzah.
Okay.
Claps and
Huzzah.
chat. GG's.
There you go.
Well done.
Okay,
Another
and that was
successful run.
clearance 2. So you guys got to evacuate before facing down the furnace itself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a legitimate way to play.
Yeah, the furnace is really cool, but we're saving that for later.
The next thing I wanted to show you guys
that you
is
can shoot.
just a brief look here. This is the deluxe edition. It's literally just a voice pack and like a weapon skin and like a character skin. So there's nothing like pay to win if you want to get the deluxe edition. I think here is where they reveal standard edition's $39, deluxe is $49, so not crazy. And you can upgrade to the deluxe edition for $10, American. PS5, Xbox Series X and S. It'll be on Game Pass, Steam, and Epic Game Store. And then the last thing that they kind of announced is as coming June 17th. So I think overall it's been a pretty good live stream that they held there, and we took a look at all the various bits of gameplay that they've shown so far. It looks pretty good to me, and I'm going to be covering it on the channel. I think that $39.99 is a really good, like, fair price to come in at. It's not like a full-priced game or one of these outrageous, like, $70, $80, $90 games. And it doesn't necessarily need to be free to play either, because I think there's a whole separate set of struggles that come with that. So I think the initial price for getting the game and then all content is free after that. So additional characters, weapons, levels, whatever they want to add to the game, they've said that all of that's going to be free. So that's pretty cool because that keeps the playing field level. It makes it to where, you and your friends can always jump in and play, whether it's the latest content or the stuff that launched with the game. It's much more accessible that way. So I'm actually excited. The more I've seen, the more it's kind of convinced me. At first, I was like, I'm not sure about this, but I think they've shown an adequate amount of gameplay, and then they've also, also a lot of the explanations that they've done by having this developer update and answering questions and talking more in depth about the game, and of course leaving room for a lot of additional mystery as they do in their games. So I want to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Take care, be safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.